Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Rabbi Stephen here today. So, this week, V'Ethanan, interesting word. It means to beseech, to ask for something, okay? But it means to ask for something according to the Hasidic Chumash. The Hasids, of course, are the ultra-Orthodox. But it means to ask for something that you really aren't sure that you deserve. So, what is Moshe Rabbeinu asking for that he may not deserve? And that is saying that he would love to go into the land, okay? He would love to go into the promised land, that he led the Israelites out of bondage, out of Egypt, hung out in the desert for the wilderness for 38 years, and now he'd like to enjoy the labor, the fruits of his labor. But of course, Hashem said no. But what he said he will do is let him stand on the mount and see the land of milk and honey. It's a halav u'davash, the land of milk and honey. Right? And there's some commentary with the Hasids, the Hasidic Chumash. They talk about that. Okay, your activities, your rewards and punishments, kind of like a balance sheet. I was going to use the word karma. That's why I hesitated. Somebody said Judaism does not believe in karma at all. We don't mention it. We don't talk about it. Even though, in my opinion, it's there. You do this, you get this. You do this other stuff that you're not supposed to do. That either you don't get this or you get stuff that you really don't want. Karma, law of action. That's what it is. So basically, they say, why can't I rely on all the mitzvot? The fact that I managed 2.5 million people for 38 years. The fact that I came back from a real pleasant life of shepherding, to come back and pull these people out of the house of bondage, be the spokesperson for Hashem, go through all those trials and tribulations, manage those people, do the commandments, go up and bring God's word to people. But sometimes you just got to accept things. It's just the way it is. People say, is God really that much of a, for lack of a better word, to put it in anthropomorphic terms, a heartless being where he says, no, you can't? Well, the other people say, look, that's not the God we believe in. We believe in a God who is merciful, okay, who believes in judgment, okay, who sees the good in people, and we as Jews want to emulate Hashem. So basically, okay, Moses did not get to walk physically into the land, but number one, he got to see the land. Number two, the world to come was such an immense reward for what he did. In a sense, he didn't need it. He didn't need that material because when he left this world, when he left his body, when his neshama left his body, okay, he gained so much more from all the wonderful, great things he did, teaching us God's law, being that intermediary. So that's a big commentary on that. Now, this is a very interesting chapter, and Parasha, and it comes right on the heels of that intense holiday that comes. That it is a holy day, Tisha B'Av, the 9th of Av. This is not just when the two temples were destroyed. There was a battle. We lost some battles. It's when Jews were expelled from Spain. A lot of bad stuff happened, and that's why we fast. And it is a full fast. It's like a Yom Kippur fast. And in fact, during the morning, we don't put on tefillin. We don't put on tefillin until the afternoon. So there's a very big distinction there. It's that important. Right? So what's going on in this particular portion that's just so intense? Well, number one, we have the repetition of the Ten Commandments. And they're repeated. First, we saw them in the Parasha of Jethro, when this is when Moses' father-in-law came out to say, wow, you did some great stuff. And, I see you trying to manage all these people and adjudicate. Why don't you just, delegate? Right? The first time we're delegating, right? And then Moses, of course, climbs the Mount Horeb, and he gets the Ten Commandments there. Big deal. So we have the Ten Commandments. We have the Shema. And we have the V'Ahavta. That's the first paragraph of the Shema. There's actually three, and it's the Shema and the V'Ahavta, and the second verse, which we see in the next portion, that's two of the portions that's in the tefillin, and that's the commandment. You put it as a sign upon your arm, with your heart, because it's near your heart. Don't go after your emotions, and put as a sign upon your head. For the intellect, don't try to rationalize things. Just pay attention to the commandments, okay? So let's go back to the Ten Commandments. Let's go back to the Ten Commandments. Oh, and what you don't see in that particular chapter is that little sentence, that little verse that they put between the Shema and the V'Ahavta, Baruch Shem Kavod. We as conservative Jews, and if Orthodox Jews neither, say that during their prayers, right? Why don't we say it? It's not in the Torah. If you go to an Orthodox prayer book, you'll see the trope, the cantillation marks for the Shema and the V'Ahavta. You won't see them for Baruch Shem. Where did that come from? It's Mishnah. It's folklore. It's what Jacob supposedly said to his sons, right, on his deathbed. It was a response. It was their response when he said the Shema. That's where that comes from. But it's not in the Torah, again, because it's folklore, so we don't say it. The only time we do say it is during Yom Kippur. At that point, we say it for two reasons. Number one, we have become holy. Right? It's a holy verse that the angels say. And at that point, during Yom Kippur, we're afflicting ourselves. We're not eating. We're not engaging in any material pleasures. We're trying to separate the material world and just focus, put the blinders on, just focus on the spiritual, on being with God, with Hashem. Right? So we don't say Baruch Shem until then, because at that point we've achieved the level of holiness. We're asking for forgiveness. We're being real sincere in showing the depths of our repentance. So at that point we get to say it. And I'm sorry, I misled you. I said there were two reasons why we say it. There's really only one reason, and that's it. All right. So let's talk about the Ten Commandments a little bit. There's a couple of differences in the Ten Commandments from what we said back in Exodus and during the portion of Jethro, and what we say now. And that has led some people to suggest that there was two or maybe even three writers of what we call the Torah. And the people that wrote the Deuteronomy either weren't aware or they changed things around from what was said in Exodus the first time. And that portion is the Shabbat. Okay, so in Exodus, it says, Zachor, remember the Sabbath. In Deuteronomy, it says, Shamor, guard it, keep it holy. Why the two things? Well, of course, we want to do both. We want to remember the Shabbat. We want to know, okay, it's been 6 days, seventh day, sunset is coming soon. We want to prepare. We want to make ourselves holy. We want to get that extra soul. We want to get that extra neshama, and just absolutely have that spiritual day when we're with Hashem and we're reviewing His Torah. We're praying. We're saying extra psalms because we're getting ourselves into the state of completion of joy. That's what shalom means in a way. Mishalem means to complete, right? And it's peace because we're complete. We don't need anything. When you don't need anything, you're at peace. So that's a big part of it, okay? So we want to remember, but we also want to guard it. We also want to make sure that we do it, all right? So why the distinction too? Well, let's consider this point. First of all, the Ten Commandments really are being given to at two different times, being given to two different sets of people, right? So the first time it was given to the Israelites who had just come out of slavery. I think it was a month. Barely a month when they left Egypt. They saw all the wonders, all the plagues. They saw the splitting of the sea. They saw the Egyptians get drowned. They had the manna. They had the wells. They saw the cloud hiding them by day. They saw the fire giving them light at night. And they were filled with wonders. Right? So the Ten Commandments were different, but now we're seeing a different generation. That generation has died out. Now we've got a new generation that were born in the desert. The Israeli term, I haven't heard it in a while, but somebody who's born in Israel used to be called a sabra. Sabra is the Hebrew word for cactus, native born. These were native born in the wilderness. They were rugged individuals, okay? They were capable of hearing that extra oomph, not just remember, but guard it, take care of it. Make sure that you do that you observe the commandments, that you don't do any work, that you just get rid of all distractions and be spiritual. So let's talk about one other interesting point, okay? And really it's they're kind of related in a way. So the second commandment is, you shall not have any gods before me. And that's anything. That is any physical representation of Hashem, because Hashem is Hashem. Now, this is pretty difficult, right? I would almost say just about every other culture, every other religion has some type of physical representation of the one, of the God. We don't. That's pretty hard. How do you conceptualize something that's got no physical makeup, especially when our attention is always on something that's physical, right? So that's pretty tough, right? The second thing is the idea of the parents, and I want to bring this up because I'm a teacher. I teach people. In a way, I'm their parent, right? When it says honor your father and your mother, you're doing that because it's from your parent, from father to son to father to son, and successive generations. That's how we learn Torah. So technically, a father is supposed to teach son Torah. Of course, nowadays we can't do that, so we have Hebrew teachers, people who are devoted to that, people like myself. So in a sense, I'm like a parent. So when you say honor your father and your mother, you're honoring a teacher who is going to imbue you with the heritage and the culture that has been so pronounced in our people for the last 3,500 years. So, Shabbat Shalom, and I hope you've had a great week, and we will thank you again for watching, and we will see you again.